Who's a happy bunny? Are we all happy bunnies? Yes, we are. We.
So I'm here with Ed Stewpot Stewart. You were known as Stewpot, weren't you, on the radio?
Yes, I got the name Stewpot actually on Radio London, on Big L, when Dave Cash was out on board. So that would have been 1965, 66 when he was there. And he gave me the name. He said, Ed Stewart is a good name, but we know. And then I showed this ability of mine to roll my stomach muscles, which go like this. Do you want to see that? Stomach muscles roll. So I can make myself very fat or very thin.
Can you hear it as well?
No, you should so after last night, I tell you. So he gave me the name Stewpot. Stewpot, that's a great name. The kids will love that. And it's true, because, well, I got into the BBC eventually, and I did the kids' programs there. Stewpot became my nickname.
Radio London was actually on a boat. It wasn't in London, it was on a boat. It looks like some sort of ex-Navy frigate or something.
It was a ship, it's called the Galaxy, and it was an old American minesweeper. Liberty ships, they called them. They built them towards the end of the Second World War. And this one was bought, made up a little bit. It was quite a rusty bucket when it first arrived. It looks quite spruce in that, and it sailed the Atlantic and moored off 3.5 miles off Frinton, because we were then in international waters. We wouldn't have got away with broadcasting within international waters, so to speak. So we had to go 3.5 miles out. It's not as it was portrayed in the boat, The Rock, the film which came out last year. They tried to pretend it was we were way out at sea, but we weren't. We saw land, and so we saw Frinton on Sea was our nearest place.
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone.
My first gig in radio was in Hong Kong when I was 20 years old. I went out to Hong Kong, and I keep wanting to listen to what Paul Burnett's saying, but I did go out to Hong Kong as a member of a band. But when I got there, the other two members of the trio who were doing their national service said, "Oh, sorry, the gig's off. We're being posted to Aden next week." So having gone all the way to Hong Kong with a single ticket, not a return, I had to stay there. And I stayed for 4 years in Hong Kong and got into radio that way quite effectively.
Armed Forces Radio?
No, not Armed Forces. It was first of all, it was Radio Hong Kong, which was the government. The Hong Kong government station. Then it was Rediffusion, which is a separate company, and they on Rediffusion they had we were the Blue Network before the connotation of the word blue became associated with vulgarity. We were the Blue Network. The Silver Network was in Cantonese, and the Gold Network of Rediffusion was in Mandarin. So that means everybody who was listening in Hong Kong, almost everybody, had their own language station. So I worked for the Blue Network, obviously the English station, and then I went to commercial radio, which had by then become the most popular radio station in Hong Kong. And Tony Myatt, who's an old mate of mine, he was not a pirate ship, but he came back to Britain, and he was on the BBC for a time as well. So one or two of us made our names in Hong Kong.
I read the news today, oh boy.
You know, who'd have thought we'd have all these 44 years ago when we all joined up and joined a pirate ship, we'd still be around working too and still broadcasting.
Well, you've enriched too many people's lives, all of you together, that's for sure, bringing popular music to the airwaves, and the little transistors under the bed. You know, and everyone was trying to stop it, especially parents, get a haircut, get a job in those days, you know.
Oh, yes.
I'm absolutely honoured to have you here.
I had an aunt and uncle. He was in the military. He was an officer in the army. And his wife, Auntie Joan, said, when's Edward going to get a proper job? But she basked in the reflected glory of being Ed Stewart's aunt. She loved it. But it was still, to her dying day, when's Ed going to get a proper job? Became a standing joke in the family.
Ed Stewpot Stewart.
That's me.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks a lot.